Paltrocast.
Mike, Matt, a pleasure to be speaking with you both today. How's your day going? We'll throw it to Mike first. How's your day going aside from talking to fake news media, asking you the same questions over and over and over again?
Oh man, don't get me started about fake news media. I'm actually in the United States right now visiting my wife's family in New Jersey, and we're just at Jersey Shore for a couple days and just drove back and got back about 30 minutes ago. So I'm like sort of family vacationing in, but also like half work because I like to work.
Well, when you say the Jersey Shore, my wife is originally from the Jersey Shore, and you find that there's different levels of Jersey Shore. So are we talking Point Pleasant kind of Jersey Shore, Cape
Seaside
May?
Heights.
Are you allowed to say, or is it you're in a hidden remote location?
We aren't there anymore, but we were at Seaside Heights, like literally in the
Oh,
Jersey Shore shirt shop.
yes. Some people do call it Sleaze Side. Have you heard that before?
I have not heard that before.
Okay, well, it happens. Welcome back, Matt. Is your day going fine aside from talking to this guy over here?
Yeah, I'm happy to be talking to you. I'm having a great day. I just dropped the kids off at school, and I had a big bike race yesterday, so
Oh,
I'm having a hard time walking today. So I've just been like foam rolling my quadriceps all morning, and yeah, just trying to get my legs operating again.
are you one of those artists who takes the bike on tour?
You know, I would love to do that. That would be a huge pain in the ass, though. So usually what we end up doing is just like renting bikes in a lot of the cities that we go to. Although most of the time we end up on those silly Lime scooters everywhere. So
Wow. Steve Vai, name drop right there in an interview. I asked what he does on tour because, 40 plus years of touring doesn't get boring. He takes
yeah,
the bike on the road. So if Steve Vai does it, I think you have to as well.
if Steve Vai does it, I can do it. I have a few friends actually that have those sort of like fold up bikes or whatever, and they'll throw them under the bay on the bus and set them up every day. And I know some people that would like when the tour bus was coming into town, they'd get them to stop like 100 miles before the city, and then get off on their bike and then bike into town and meet the rest of the band at the venue, later in the day. And that takes a lot of commitment. I don't know if I got that in me, but
It's
Okay.
hard when you're also like you have the challenge of being like primed right at 9:30 p.m. for the show. You're like, how much do I want to empty the tank this morning?
that's true.
Well,
Balancing out.
is your band full of nappers? Do people nap in this band, or is it not rock and roll and you can't nap?
It's not that it's not rock and roll. It's just nobody really naps in the band. Some of the crew guys have been really good at it. And I might attempt to become a good napper again, but it hasn't happened yet in many
Yeah,
years.
the tour nap is a hard thing to do. I like it's occasionally if I'm just like feeling under the weather, maybe I'd try and grab a little one before the show, but I find it really messes with my rhythm for the day.
It's really
Mm.
specific. You're literally climbing the mountain up to the show one step at a time all day long, and to take the nap kind of puts you down a few, and then you feel like you have to like get back in the headspace really quickly.
I hear you. Well, is this going to be one of those tours where you don't have to do press during the day, where you pretty much just have to be at sound check? You can go back to the hotel or whatever, and then the gig, or is this one of those to the 15-minute things?
Here's the thing: the dream is that you don't have to do any press, so you can focus on managing your schedule and sleep and rest and eating at
Yeah.
the right times and all that stuff. But the real dream is people wanting you for press because that means you're actually interesting and there's stuff going on, and it's always good to be reaching new people, right? So again, it's that balance thing. You don't want 10 interviews in a day, but you definitely want to have a few in there to know that your tour is reaching new people outside of the venue.
Or
There's time.
to rudely interrupt you, Matt, the compromise is you make them come to the venue, them come to sound check.
That's the ideal scenario. We do that sometimes.
There's
Now,
time for all of it, man. If you get up and you get up early and I like to be what I call a very efficient tourist when I'm on tour. If you get up first thing in the morning, there's always an opportunity to get out and do something crazy like run up the Rocky Steps in Philadelphia or like, every city's got like a site that you got to see, right? And so find the cool restaurant, find the cool attraction, get that done in the morning, and then happy to do all the press and rock in the afternoon. So it can be done.
Yeah, Matt is always the
also,
first one up planning his day. I'm always the second one up planning my coffee. But I'm a changed man. I'm going to be with Matt first thing in the morning every day this tour, this album cycle.
are you guys done with compliments for the day, or can you still take one or two?
Compliments
I
are
can
great.
always take compliments.
Okay, so to me, this is the interesting, fascinating point of the career for your band, where you've had the hits, the awards, and all that, and the people who are coming to see you live are actually coming to see you. But it's also that weird point in time where if you play 15 songs, you probably had 15 songs that charted. So then it becomes the set list, the weird set list point of your career. Am I projecting on that, or is that correct?
It's so
100%.
funny.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, it's just funny that you say that, because literally, like, I don't know, Mike, when was it, 2 days ago, we were sending around an email with each other being like, guys, what the hell are we going to do for a set? Because we're at this wonderful stage in our career where we have a very large catalog of music. And yes, a lot of those songs need to be played and want to be heard by the fans. But we have a new record and you want to go and play a lot of that new material because that's exciting for us. But nobody wants to go to a show and hear, like, when you go see your favorite band, I don't want to hear like all the new stuff. I want to hear the songs that I love, right? And so like it's this balance of like trying to figure out, getting enough songs in there so we can portray our new record and play new songs that we're excited about, but also give the fans who have been with us for 20 years what they want to hear.
In my opinion, for me, the dream scenario would be putting out an album that does like what American Idiot did, where it's a little bit further in the career, but it's bigger than everything else. So you can play a lot of that album. And then the pressure on the old catalog is really just the super hits. You play 5 or 6 of those, but so many of the biggest hits are on that current album. So you can play that without letting down most of the people who are still, and then people are still discovering you, right? So they're coming for the new stuff. But for us, it's in our case, it's impossible to really satisfy everybody if you don't play enough of the old stuff.
Unless, hear me out here. Unless you go into medley mode. There have been some respectable artists who over the years, I remember the first time I saw Run DMC, I don't think they played more than 40 seconds of any song to begin with, but they would just do like 30, 40 seconds of King of Rock, and you go, oh, okay, I did hear King of Rock.
That's all I need.
Yeah,
we have one medley. Maybe we need more.
I think was it Prince? I think Prince was in town like a long time ago, and he played like he was doing a bunch of medleys of his stuff. I'm sure that guy had the same problems.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, with your band in particular, the whole Juno Group of the Year kind of award thing was over a decade ago. So one thing that I'm super curious about, being this band that has a devoted fan base and all that, when did you kind of realize that it wasn't going to be about the new single or the new album, that more or less you could come back every 2 years for a tour, every 3 to 4 years for an album, and you didn't have to have an album to tour? Was there a period where you kind of realized that?
I think coming out of COVID made it pretty darn clear when we started playing shows again in probably 2022 and selling out these theaters of like, 2,000-3,000 people. And we didn't have a new song. That's like, okay, so they still want the catalog, and that is a body of work that stands alone already. And then now we're just trying to enrich it.
It's a wonderful position to be in because, we have a very loyal fan base that's been with us and building for a long time. And just to be able to announce a show anywhere and have it sell out, even without a new record is really encouraging. And then we just put the tickets on sale for this new tour that we've got coming up in September. And like there were over the weekend that we had sellouts all over the place, and it's mind blowing. Like we had 2 songs from the new record that have been made available to everybody, and just based off that alone and the work that we've done, the numbers have been amazing. So it's like, it's really cool. We're in such a wonderful position.
Now, this is a compliment. It's going to initially sound backhanded, but I promise it's a compliment. So I love to see how Canadian bands are like arena acts and festival headliners in Canada, and then they have to play Irving Plaza in the US until they eventually get to the point where they do 4 nights at Irving Plaza, or they become arena people over here. And where you're playing in New York, Irving Plaza is where Our Lady Peace played a year or so ago, and I saw them. And obviously they played 10 times more people in their home turf and all that kind of thing. What I'm curious about is what your set list in the US looks like versus the Canadian set list. Is it different, or is it, hey, our show is our show?
Yeah, it's more our show is our show. That being said, the first little while, we're always feeling it out to see if there's something that doesn't quite jive rhythmically, because songs can be moved around. Maybe there will be a spot where and I've been thinking about this to Matt, but maybe there's nights where one night it's one song and next night it's another song in a certain spot. But those are trial and error things too, and you see how it goes and how the people react. And if they're not digging a certain song, you can put something else in there, or if they want more of a particular thing, you can always try to figure that out. But it's pretty much the same.
And that's proof that you're not playing to tracks the whole show, and you could change it up based on the crowd.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's you do for the production of the show, like there is some stuff where you need to be consistent, like consistently playing, you know, the opener has got to be the opener and the closer got to be, and but there is some wiggle room in the set for sure. And where that room exists, we'll take advantage of it if we can.
Makes sense. So speaking of Steve Vai and all that, now I'm curious, Mike, what made you want to play music in the first place? Was it a particular artist or song or era or an older sibling?
In elementary school, I did choir for a little bit, and then when I was 11, I was in a marching band playing trumpet. So it was just kind of happening, and I kept remembering how much I just liked notes and music and stuff. Whatever I was doing, I felt weird about it because I almost felt like something was wrong with me. You know, when you're like, my brother had a keyboard and a bass down in his basement bedroom when nobody's home, I'd go down and sneak down and play it because I just liked making melodies and things. So I don't know. I kind of always liked it. What was the actual question?
Well, was it a particular artist or song or
Oh yeah, not necessarily a particular artist or song that made me pick up the instrument. Just the way the music that I listened to in general resonated with me, and then actually picking up an instrument and realizing that I can make something out of nothing and then also get feelings from it, I thought was pretty cool.
Well, what was your gateway to heavier music in general? Because everyone kind of starts on top 40 radio, and then eventually it's a Green Day or a Metallica kind of situation where they go, oh, there's that. But then who inspired those people? Or at least that's what it was for me.
So you're talking about the other inspirations for us?
Yeah, I'm curious what got you into heavier music or listening to music besides just top 40. You know,
yeah, my brother, I had older siblings. My sister was into Queen. My brother was into like new wave stuff like Depeche Mode and New Order and The Cure. So you kind of, you get leak it into your life. And then teenage years, man, I like Metallica because I was an angsty teenager and stuff like that. So
got it. All the Vancouver albums made by American bands.
Yeah.
Exactly. Matt, what about you in terms of your musical journey? Because when I listen to your band, like I hear the punk, I hear the alternative, I hear the pop sensibilities. It's not exactly clear as day. It's like, oh, the Trench guys, that's what they're into. I don't know.
Yeah, I think particularly with Josh, he just loves good songs, and for me growing up, like I listened to a lot of the 80s stuff. My parents were into a lot of the 80s rock and I started, I took piano lessons as a kid and then picked up the guitar because I thought it looked cool. My dad came home with one of those like Fender Strat packs, and it was like I just started playing Green Day and Nirvana and then I don't know, man, just like listening to good music and I honestly don't know. I was like Mike too. I was a band dork, so I was in the choir. I played trombone, and I just sort of was surrounded by music everywhere, and then joined up with Josh, and we just kind of went down this path. I don't know how we got here, but here we are.
Having a horn section between you two, does that mean that a ska album could eventually happen?
No, I'd say the odds are very low.
Probably pretty slim, yeah.
But I guess technically.
Yeah, never say never.
Right.
So 2 dumb questions for both of you, and then I'll let you go. And the same questions at both of you. Mike, you first. What's the last concert that you went to for fun, as a fan, not because you were going to come up on stage or, you were trying to network or something like that?
Oh my God. I don't know if I'm proud or ashamed, but I saw the Jonas Brothers when they were in Vancouver a little while ago. My wife was a big fan when she was young. And still a fan, but more so then. So it was a little bit of a nostalgia thing. And you know what? I didn't know what to expect, but it was quite a good show. They did a really good job.
Did they bring out a special guest? Did the Beaches come out or something like
Yes.
that? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Actually,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
The Beaches actually came out at that show?
Yeah.
Oh, that was just a random. That's that's pretty exciting.
They're like "Don't Blame My Ex," right? That song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it. Was yeah.
Blame Brett, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
that's
Or blame
right.
Brett. Yeah,
Have to blame the right
right.
boyfriend for messing
Blame
her
the
up.
ex. Blame the ex. That's what it is. Whatever it is.
Matt, what was your last concert that you went to for actual pleasure?
Oh, I'm trying to think. I'll tell you what I got coming up. I got tickets to the Rolling Stones coming up. I got tickets to go see a band called Boy and Bear from Australia. I got tickets to go see the Midnight coming up. What's the last concert I went to see? I think it was
Arizona.
Tier. Well, yeah, yeah, I did go and see this band called the Midnight. They're just because I'm obsessed with them. We have some friends in the band, but like big concert. Tears for Fears, maybe they were in Vancouver. That feels like that was a while ago, but that was the last one I can remember. I was so inspired though. The guy had like a really cool guitar, red and white Fender Stratocaster, so I went out and bought the same one because I was so inspired by the band. I love them so much.
So you started on a Fender Strat
Yeah,
knockoff. I'm assuming it was like a Squire, right?
that's exactly what it was. Yeah, yeah,
The $150 amp in a box with the Squire.
exactly. Yeah,
So what I'm learning here is people can grow up to be just like you and have the same struggles, but in a good way.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
I think the
yeah,
struggles are important, actually.
yeah. We're still struggling, and it's it's and they're
Good
very
stuff.
important. What
We just have more guitars.
builds character? Yeah, I just got more guitars now. Yeah, exactly.
Well, the last question of both of you, Mike first. When you're not busy with family, you're not busy with touring and recording, what's the number two or really number three passion behind all this? Because all anyone really knows about the band is you guys play music, we see you on tour, there's a new album, and that's it. Kind of a lot of mystique around your band.
Yeah, I
I
spend
appreciate that.
a lot. That is good. I spent a lot of time by myself exercising, like hiking, walking. I really enjoy, especially the last couple of months, getting like 1 to 3 hours a day. Just so good for my mind and good for my body and good for my soul. And especially coming to the new album cycle, there's literally 1 to 2 hours of practice almost every day, and then the clerical work and then family time. But I did take a little bit of time at the beginning of the year because I could see what the year was going to be, but we didn't have the music yet ready to start practicing. And I'm like, I'm going to play one video game, but I'm going to play it to death. And I played Elden Ring, and I put like hundreds of hours on that thing. And then I'm like, and I'm done for another year. And now I'm going to work. And then when you see those long gaps, then I'll like dig into something like that.
Wow. Okay. Good thing it's not Fortnite, that kind of thing where you get sucked in and
Well, the ongoing short form games don't do it for me. I like the what was it, RP role, the ones where you build your characters a lot and develop those things. Like The Witcher was really awesome and stuff like that.
Same question to you before I let you go, Matt. What's the number two or number three when you're not occupied with this growing career full of chart hits that there's not enough time in the day to play these days?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have the same answer as Mike. Like I said, I had a bike race this weekend. I'm big into like cycling and that kind of stuff. So I have a group of guys that I go out with, and for me, it's like as Mike also said, it's sort of a mentally healing thing that I do, and it just get together with some guys. We go to a lot of coffee shops. I eat a lot of croissants and donuts and bagels in between cycling in really tight spandex outfits.
Yeah,
And
it's got a little tighter, better cycle again.
We just go to every coffee shop we can find in weird locations all over the city and ride bikes there. That's pretty much my life.
But to be clear, you're not in the 604 club.
And what club would that be?
The singer of Loverboy has his. He told me about this in an interview. This is not me weirdly Googling him, although I could. Mike Reno, I think, has a sports car club gathering of other Vancouver notables that show off their sports cars.
Okay, so here's an interesting thing. So there's a coffee shop in Vancouver that's on the way to like Whistler. I don't know if you're familiar with Whistler. It's like snowboarding mecca. And so on the way there's like this really beautiful coffee shop called Iseta or something like that. And the owner of it is a big cycling enthusiast, road cycling enthusiast, but he's also like a sports car collector. So when you go there, like it's got this great coffee shop and restaurant, but it's also got like a wonderful collection of sports cars, and they have sports car meetups there all the time. So every time I go there, I'm on a bicycle, and you'll get these guys coming in they're like Lamborghinis or they're vintage, Mustangs or whatever. And so it's a really interesting dynamic between all these wealthy people with crazy cars and then a bunch of guys on bikes, and we all sort of like we're just look at each other like you hang out in different areas and you kind of it's a lot of fun.
Respect
And I'm sure
disdain.
Yeah, maybe.
Which one is it? Like, oh, those guys are rich. Oh, those guys are healthy. Good to you. Good for you.
But Bob Rock brings you all together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Paltrocast.